Hello, hello. This is the 189th Test from the Future, an experimental podcast from the year 2224, which we are sending from our present to yours. My name is Dirk.
And my name is Simon.
And we're putting the past in podcast. We're a little excited today.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Well, we have someone here helping us out today. Usually it's just the two of us.
Yes.
And we've got someone actually assisting us for a change.
Yeah, there's somebody here in the room with us.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to help us out. Maybe you come over quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Charlene. You won't hear me, but I'm there.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Charlene. And you won't be talking, you will be doing stuff.
That's right. I'll use the hand gestures that we practiced. Good luck.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks, Charlene. I'm super excited about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to learn lots of things.
Mm-hmm. So it'd be interesting to have someone, I guess, producing us, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. And of course, we had to practice the hand gestures,
right.
So she doesn't have to voicely interrupt us.
Correct, or just write up on a piece of paper or on our lenses. No. Hand gestures are the way to go.
Definitely. But today, we're talking about voices of nature.
Right, something we mentioned, I think, briefly in episode 171.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go into more detail.
It's also interesting. So we just said Charlene wasn't talking, but we're talking about voices anyway. Yes.
Yeah. Although this is more like this is a position.
Yeah, fair enough.
A role.
Yeah. So what's a voice of nature?
So it's an appointed official speaking on behalf of nature, so representing nature.
Yeah.
In government bodies or in companies.
Why do they do that?
So because nature, at least traditionally, cannot speak for itself.
Yeah, that's it. And I guess also voice of nature, or VON, depending on if you want to be cool or not. Yeah, they're everywhere. So governments, companies, organizations, anything,
book clubs,
anything bigger than, 12 people, something like that, needs to have a voice of nature. And it's important because decisions are made all the time.
Right, that affect nature.
Yeah.
And until there were VONs, then nature's perspective or nature's concerns were not taken into account, usually. And now the idea is that they will be. Yeah.
And it's also a thing where basically every organization, every club has them.
Right, yep, that's true. Oh, sorry, one sec. Okay. So, for our listeners, Charlene was just gesturing to us with one of our pre-agreed hand gestures, saying for us to get louder.
Yes.
Apparently we got too quiet.
Exactly. I know this one. Pointing up. Okay, speak louder. So this is a mandatory position. And you're a human, I'm a human. We might think these are always humans, but they're not.
No. They can be robots as well.
Yes. Or
even maybe even more relevant, sentient animals.
Yeah.
So relevant in the sense those animals maybe live in the nature, not in houses.
It's like the position existed already before we got really a considerable amount of sentient animals. But they've really, taken a liking to this position, obviously. Yeah. Because I guess if a human sits there and says, hey, we need to think about the cockatoos or so, or, if a cockatoo is sitting there saying, don't forget about the cockatoos, that makes a difference.
Yeah, of course. It's, motivated self-interest, rather than relying on someone else to have your best interests at heart, you can speak up for yourself.
Yeah. Although I can imagine if a cockatoo is saying, we should not make any room for the lions in this project. Yeah, that's because you're afraid of the lion.
Sure. It needs to be balanced.
Yeah, exactly. So keep it balanced. Yeah, that's a good point. So they've been around for a while. What are some of the things that they pointed out?
So, this maybe will sound strange to our listeners, but their actually primary motive, actually the reason all of this started, was they were really insistent not to build another intergalactic escalator.
Yeah, that
they got this whole thing rolling.
That had a massive natural impact across
multiple ecosystems.
Yeah.
Multiple countries for that matter.
Yeah, as I mean, it's even positioned on several islands, and there's a lot of shade below, at least the lower parts of the intergalactic escalator. Of course, in the shade, less things grow. There's a lot of stuff falling from the escalator, a lot of pressure puts on the environment.
Exactly. And even, I mean, all of that is the case. And also, raccoons keep flying into it, into the intergalactic escalator.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's just causing a whole lot of headaches and hassle.
Yeah, and of course the thing itself hasn't been super successful.
Right.
And then when the first plans were announced that they're going to maybe build another one on Hawaii, then that's where Voices of Nature really, I mean, the initial ones really made a name for themselves. Yeah, they raised their voices. Oh, I like that. But I mean, they're not just blocking things, right?
Right, no. Right. In that case, it's to stop more of that thing being built. But they're also about fixing things, I guess, or dealing with things.
Or repurposing things or seeing opportunities for nature. I guess we're thinking of the same thing. It's a lot of these shafts that were drilled to the center of the earth.
Right. And then for a while now, they've just been sitting empty.
Yeah, some of them anyway.
Some, yeah. And sure, the VONs, how about those get filled in with water?
Yeah. I mean, we have plenty of water on Earth.
Yeah. I mean, when it rains, they fill up a little bit, but they're not filled all the way to the top. How about filling them all the way to the top of water?
It makes for stability. So a lot of shafts drilled to the center of the Earth kind of could make Earth a little bit unstable. Fill them up with water. And then also you create all kinds of new biotopes, all kinds of natural environments, further down, further up, more light, less light. Right. The deeper you get, the warmer it gets. You also get all kinds of new evolutionary things going on. Maybe you create some new species.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation.
Pretty spectacular. Yeah, that was just their idea. Or, I mean, not their common idea, just one particular Voice of Nature that insisted on this.
Right, so that's, I guess, so there was blocking things, that is rather improving things. And then another thing is that they do is, so some things are already happening, but they want to accelerate them. So, for example, the rewilding of the world's cities, and especially the world's what used to be autobahns or highways or motorways, all the roads basically. Yeah, those have gradually over the decades been naturally rewilding, like grass growing on them and plants and so on. The VONs want that to be accelerated intentionally.
So not just to slowly let it happen, but to actually, accelerate it. Yeah, that's a good point. Have it more overgrown with things and what's this gesture? Okay, get on with it.
Had we? I mean, I didn't think we were meandering, but I guess maybe we spent too long on it.
Maybe we're summing up things again.
Maybe.
Okay, getting on with it.
Yes.
So we're talking about a few things that they've managed to actually do. How do they do it? So do they have any power? Or is it more like the Ethics Council where you can advise all you want, but somebody else gets to decide, like in my case?
Right. So, indeed, like in your job.
I mean, I have to admit, I kind of like it.
Getting to advise but have no power?
If you put it like that, it sounds a little bit sad. But it's like with great power comes
some responsibility.
Great responsibility.
Some amount, anyway.
Somebody said that.
Sure. And so with no power, there's less.
But I mean, from an ethical perspective, I don't think this is a very good idea. Right. So they are informed, and then they can make a decision anyway. So I did my job. I said, I wouldn't do it. But then somebody else can take the responsibility of making the decision.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you're right. The Ethics Council is an advisory body. Okay, to the point. Voices of Nature, they are not purely advisory. They do have some powers, including, for example, being acting as the tiebreaker between different factions, and different.
So when they're okay, sorry.
Come on.
No. So if they're the tiebreaker, means that if some people agree and some people don't, and it's equal amount, then they get to have the decisive vote.
Yeah, when it's a matter that affects nature.
Yeah. Oh. So what now?
Charlene is gesturing at us again, but this time, I mean, I don't recognize that. I think we're going to just need to ask her to say what it was.
Sorry, Charlene, we don't remember this one.
Can you tell us?
You all keep talking over each other, you ding-dongs.
Were we?
Were we? Okay.
So thank you for letting us know, Charlene. We will stop doing that.
Or at least pay more attention. Not to.
Yeah.
Were you talking over me or were I talking over you?
We shall find out when we listen back to the episode.
We were probably talking over each other.
A whole lot.
So Voices of Nature. Do you know any personally?
Yes. I just met him yesterday, actually, at a book club. So I think, did we mention? So, we've mentioned before, people can have multiple jobs. So his day job is a lawyer.
Okay.
Actually giving talks, advising on financial stuff.
Okay.
Actually traveling all over. I think, where is he going next? Vienna was his next trip. But anyway, on the side, he's also a voice of nature.
Okay.
And so we were talking about that a bit too. To be fair, I was actually a bit more interested in his trip to Vienna, but he's someone I know. Yourself?
Professionally, a few. We have one at the UFOPU as well.
Of course.
Funny enough, he's also going to Vienna soon.
Okay.
He wouldn't be called Farloff.
No, Billy Bob was the name of the guy I knew, or the guy I met yesterday.
Maybe they have a Voice of Nature conference in Vienna.
It could be.
Okay.
Makes sense to double up such interests.
So I work with them a lot. They, not to put all of them in one bucket, so to say, but I've met quite a few of them professionally. Mm-hmm. They're really committed.
Right, dedicated,
passionate almost.
Yeah. They care about it's. You could in theory fulfill that role and not care about it, but it'd be kind of strange. Yeah?
True. Yeah. It's. I guess it's a little different than ethics. Maybe I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's maybe a bit more, a little bit more black and white, I guess. Mm-hmm. And a lot of things you could say it doesn't really matter. In this case, it does. So
right. There's real world consequences.
Yeah, exactly. So you also draw persons doing this that do care about things. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Voices of Nature.
Voices of Nature. Check. I guess.
Yeah. For now.
We also have a listener question.
Yes, we do. This one from Bran. And specifically, this is from an episode a while ago in response to episode 55. And Bran writes, "Hey guys, I loved your episode 55 about the intergalactic escalator. Have you seen any kangaroofs lately?"
That's
okay, so I say it's from an episode a while ago. Sure, we're mentioning it today because we spoke about the intergalactic escalator.
Yeah, it's not purely a coincidence. No. But the kangaroofs?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Yesterday we saw them together, yeah?
Exactly, we saw them yesterday, yeah.
Yeah.
I love kangaroofs.
Oh, and Charlene just said something. What was that, though? Can you speak up a bit? Charlene, we didn't hear you so well.
I said I love kangaroofs. They're so extra ultra cute.
Yeah,
they are, that's true.
They are one of the cutest animals that are there, definitely.
Yeah. With their long necks and their pouches. It's very good stuff.
So, Bran emailed us.
Yes. And he did so by writing to michaellasagna5@gmail.com. He sure was responding to episode 55, but you, dear listener, are listening to episode 189. So please put into the subject line of your email the number 189 so that we can know this episode successfully went back in time.
Yeah. And also, Bran, once you get to this episode, way to go. You've listened to 100
a lot, yeah.
Something more episodes before you got here. Mm-hmm. Okay, so thanks, Bran. Thanks, everybody else. Thanks, Charlene. And see you in 200 years.
Bye-bye.
Struth, you ding-dongs.